There's never been a better time to have SiriusXM. With over 140 channels in your vehicle, your all-access trial includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels and enjoy favorite shows with SiriusXM Video on Demand. What you love is on now.
Well, happy Monday, everybody, and thanks for tuning in to our first lunchtime learning session this week. Welcome to CMA Connected, presented by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Now, on this first one, this is going to be a first-time appearance for this brand, and this brand is probably a brand. Well, it really depends. If you're in the business of, maybe expediter business or providing solutions for vehicles to get in on some SiriusXM. That's right, I said it, SiriusXM. This is a brand that certainly has some solutions for you. And beyond that, maybe some other cool automated solutions that you might not know about. Well, on this show, we're definitely going to talk about it, and we're going to bring on a specialist, our friend Romesh, I call him Roku, from Importel will be joining us. Let's go ahead and get Romesh on the screen. What's going on, Ro?
Hey, Ben, how you doing?
You know what? It was I got to talk about this. I see my fellow ex-Montrealer here, and it was a rough game last night, and I was kind of feeling not so good about it last night rather, but I'm really hoping that it turns out better as they head to Vegas.
Well, the ending was rough, but the game, it was a good game.
We're not going to dwell on it. We're not here to talk hockey, but I can't help it. I see you. I know you're passionate about the Habs, and so am I, so let's wish them the best. All right. Importel, distributing a brand called VAIS Technology. That's what we're talking about today. What do you know about VAIS, Romesh?
VAIS Tech is a OE supplier for integration. Are you getting an echo?
No, you sound great.
No? Okay, yeah. I'm hearing myself twice. So vehicle integration for SiriusXM into OE radios.
I just fixed that for you. I realized what was going on.
What was going on?
You were like logged in twice for some reason. Had like a duplicate, a doppelganger of yourself. Okay. It's good. We're all good now. Can you hear us?
I can, but I can't see it anymore.
Oh no. Well, I'm here looking at you. So basically, it's an integrator.
Yeah. So so VAIS Tech manufactures integration solutions for OE radios. And I don't want to get too far into the history of it, but the main focus and where there's a great opportunity for retail consumers and our dealer network is satellite radio integration into those factory radios, using all the OE controls. And I don't want to take our guests' thunder, so I won't get too deep into it, but it's pretty exciting.
So at the end of the day, this is a way to get Sirius satellite radio, SiriusXM into your vehicle in a very OE factory kind of way. That's one solution they do. I know that we're also going to be talking about another category that they do, which I mentioned a little bit, and they call it SEER, which is what I just learned is smart entry and exit, right?
Correct.
And it's kind of like an automation thing. So we're going to learn all about that.
Right.
And to do so, we're going to have a special guest, and his name is Jonathan DiMattei. And he is the senior technical advisor over at VAIS Tech. And he's coming to us from his shop. And I think we're going to get our learn on these products. I, for one, I'm learning about it. I've heard things about it, and I definitely want to make sure that I now understand what these great products are all about. So let's go ahead and get Jonathan on and invite him to CMA. Welcome to the show, Jonathan.
Hey, Ben, Romesh, how's it going?
Oh, bro, rocking.
Great, guys. Thank you for having us.
Well, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for making the time to help us out. Appreciate
Absolutely. It. So, as you heard, this is your first time, so welcome to CMA, first and foremost. We want to get our learn on. We want to understand, the products and the technology that you guys have to offer. And to understand that, I think we should get a little bit of a background, seeing as this is your first appearance on the show. Why don't you tell us quickly about yourself, and then maybe transition to the brand and give us a little, picture of what VAIS Tech is all about.
Excellent. Definitely. Again, Jonathan DiMattei, got a strong Italian background, come from a big Italian family, originally from New York. Started in the 12-volt industry in about 2004. So directly after high school, I joined the military, went and served the Army, and directly upon coming back, I got my first electronics install job, install/sales at Circuit City. Was doing 13-wire hardwire remote starts. So I definitely come from a that earlier background in terms of integrating tech, before plug and play or anything like that occurred. And then from there, I really I stayed in the 12-volt industry for quite a while. I worked for a very prestigious shop in Tampa called Sensuous Sound Systems. They were prided on doing $1 million and up dedicated home theaters, and very, very high-end car audio. So I actually ran the 12-volt portion of that business and the installation side of things. So I got to do custom fabrication for some ball players, celebrities.
Wow, nice.
And then going from there, I worked for a distributor down in Florida who's now called Next Level Distribution. They used to be called Audio America. So been in really multiple facets of this industry. I've worked in distribution, worked in tech. Now I'm happy to say that, I'm at manufacturer level. It's really nice to be able to, work directly side by side with engineers in not only developing product, but also implementing it.
Very, very cool. Okay, so fast forward, here you are. Obviously, you're senior tech advisor over at VAIS Tech. What's VAIS Tech all about? What is the business model? What do you offer?
Excellent. So VAIS actually stands for Vehicle Accessory Integration Solutions. So we opened in 2004 and pioneered the integration for SiriusXM, primarily into Toyota and Lexus vehicles. So as a company, we really cut our teeth on being the first ones in the North American market to bring not only a product to market for OE radios, but also an OE grade product. And that's something since the very beginning we've really prided ourselves on, is that everything is designed, manufactured, and delivered at an OEM quality level. So all the components that we make are OEM grade. In 2009, we had a port partnership with two vehicle manufacturers as well as SiriusXM. So that kind of moved us forward into really getting a larger footprint in the integration market for satellite radio. And we also started our iPod integration product line. So that was referred to as SL, like our SL2 and 3 products that you know of now. And we've developed a piece that you could take an iPod, plug it into the vehicle, and have it come up full-blown text on the radio. You can quickly browse through all of your stored information. So for its time, it was something that no one really had ever seen before. And then from there, we even went on to make the first phone mirroring product for Android that you would see on a factory OE radio. We did some motion in bypass, like DVD in motion for navigation bypasses as well. 2010, we actually branched out to multiple brands. So we started specifically with integration for Toyota and Lexus. And then in 2010, we branched out to a multitude of different vehicle manufacturers and started writing code for companies like General Motors, Subaru, Hyundai, and Kia. And that's really what kind of pushed us into the new generation of GSR product that you know now. In 2014, we got into all brands. So every brand that you see on our application guide, I think we have 32 different vehicle brands that we integrate with now. And that would be inclusive of your overall companies. But 2014 is also when we developed our first universal piece. So the product that you know now is the GSR UV01. And we'll get into that in a second. I can do an unboxing. But basically, we had all these different SKUs. And now we came up with a satellite radio integration. Not only does it work on OE radios, but it can be flashed to any of those different manufacturers that you have. So we've kind of simplified the brand, to one SKU, make it easier for the installer.
Yeah,
as
more
well.
software, less hardware.
Exactly. Download it, flash it, plug it in. We'll talk about that, when we get to the product. 2018, we started an OEM project directly with SiriusXM. So we became a SiriusXM approved partner. So that's when you see on our products, the older products would say sat radio. Now they actually say SiriusXM. They have the brandishment and stickers on it. So, we're proud to not only have announced that, but be continuing a partnership with SiriusXM directly.
So what year was that?
2018.
So that went from common law to married.
right.
2018. And while I'm on that topic, I have no choice but to put this up. Ricardo Lima from SXM is tuned in, and he's like, "What's up,
Excellent.
Dude?" He's saying hi.
Excellent, Ricardo. Well, always a pleasure, man. We got to hang out at a couple of the shows, especially Importel. So great relationship with him. He's an awesome guy.
Gotcha.
2019. So 2019 is when we announced stepping into a new category. Obviously, the development for our new product, SEER, has been going on much longer than that. But in 2019, we announced that we're moving into a completely new category, which is safety and convenience. And now what we're calling vehicle automation. And we'll get into that when we talk about SEER. We actually won the award for Best New Mobile Electronics at SEMA 2019. So our last SEMA physical show, we came in. It was our first SEMA show that we've attended as a vendor. Of course, we've been there to visit, prior, but came in and made a real big splash with the judges and won that award. It's now sitting in our conference room.
Sweet.
Proudly.
Congrats.
So we get to show that off when people come in. And that's been a big movement for us, not only as a company, but as far as, the product as well. 2021 brings us to now. So, we did have some holdups due to COVID-19, like everybody did. So, kind of fast forwarding relatively past that, I'm glad to happy to say we're kind of getting back to normal in that sense. 2021, January this year, we did release and start shipping SEER. And now that's, being rolled out and implemented into 5 different categories, and we'll go over that.
So I'm happy. So we're June. So this is fresh product we're going to be talking about.
Yeah,
today,
came out January. Yeah.
Awesome. I told you there's going to be interaction, so I'm going to throw this up. Our boy Conrad over at Sudbury Car Audio, we've used the VAIS Sirius integration modules many times, and they install flawless. I'm sure you're happy to hear that. That's a great dealer that we have. All right. So let's break this down for the dealers tuning into this either live or on demand. We've got Jonathan in the house. We're going to run through the lineup of product. Basically, we're going to separate this next few minutes into 2 segments, right? First, we're going to talk about GSR, which is satellite radio integration. And then we're going to get into the SEER. So why don't we, I know we have a video we can roll. Why don't we roll the video, kind of set the mood of what GSR is all about, and then you come back and tell us what it's really about.
Thanks, man.
GSR for GMC and Chevy by VAIS Technology. High-quality satellite radio integrated right into your car's factory radio and steering wheel controls. To find your GSR, choose SXM from the source menu. From here you can browse the channels one at a time, or to view all your channels, select Browse, Artists, Presets and Channels, and All Channels. To add your current channel as a preset, choose Browse, Artists, Presets and Channels, and Add Preset. Choose Save Current Channel, and your channel will be added to your bank of presets. It will also display the preset number, the channel number, and the name of the channel above the song information. To view your presets, select Presets and Channels and My Presets. Here you can store up to 36 channels. You can also navigate your presets one at a time by holding down the track button. You can remove a preset by selecting Delete Preset and then selecting which channel you would like to remove. You can also replace a preset. Simply find a channel you would like to replace your old preset with, choose Browse, Artists, Presets and Channels, and Replace Preset. Once your list of old presets appears, choose the channel you would like to replace. Then GSR will take you back to the play screen and display the preset number, the channel number, and the name of the channel above the song information as before. If you would like to remove all your presets, you can choose Delete All Presets. To browse by category, choose Browse by Category. You can choose System Information to view your SiriusXM radio ID or check your signal quality. Get your GSR today at vaistech.com.
right. I'm going to make a comment before you get into it, Jonathan. Like, I'm a avid SiriusXM listener, obviously, and I have vehicles that have aftermarket solutions and factory. And I got to say, just from the video that I just watched, it looks OE. Like, I would not know the difference if it came with it or if you added it later. I mean, just the way the menus come up and the way it looks, very, very OE. That's my first comment. That's my 2 cents.
That's actually a great way to start and a great thing to touch on. So, I mean, for the purposes of utilizing the factory display, it is OE. It's going to come up as an actual source. Nothing needs to be modified in the software or the radio or changed. There is going to be subtle differences in the operation of GSR. So, for example, and that's a great thing to touch on, Ben. So, we are an external device. So, I always tell a consumer or a new technician that's going to be installing it, it is an OE source. It is going to pop up as a dedicated source, but depending on the vehicle, it may come up differently. So like General Motors and Toyota will actually say SiriusXM on the screen, whereas Hyundai and Kia and Honda actually still say iPod for that particular source. So we do go through USB, and that's a great way to start an explanation of the product. So we integrate directly through the factory USB port of the vehicle, whether that be the port that they provided to us in the vehicle, in the vehicle's cabin, i.e. like the front of the dash, or a brand like Toyota gave us the ability and the termination to actually give you a T-harness. And I'll show you the difference in the products in a second. So we do go in through USB. And as far as saving presets, they appear a little bit differently than factory. So versus those 1 through 6 buttons that you have on the screen, like you just saw in our video, we actually go through artists, and then you have a whole nice intuitive menu that says add presets, remove presets. It's at first, it's a couple of additional steps, but the nice thing about this is factory, you can set 6 presets. Our kit, you can set 36, and you can skip through them from the steering wheel controls, which is typically something you can't do even with a factory source. Cool. So you want to take a look at the product?
Yeah, man.
All right, excellent. So we can start with an unboxing. GSR stands for Generic Satellite Radio. So this is going to be, this is actually the 2nd generation to the consumers, but this is the 3rd revision of our product. So if you see the newer GSR Generation 2 product, it has faster processing. It has newer and more updated software and also applications. So GSR itself is going to come in this OE style white box with your label on it. We do have a owner's manual and a warning label inside. This is a universal one. So this product UV01 is going to be pretty exclusive to the Canadian market in the sense that this can be flashed. So this is our completely universal product. Nice part about this is you're not paying duties on all the separate pieces that you're bringing in. So Importel has these in stock. They can be flashed to any of our 30 plus vehicle standards. So that's a really nice part about that. So we just have that warning label that says, hey guys, you need to flash it first. The unit itself, pretty small, metallized housing. So again, every VAIS technology product is manufactured to an OEM quality level. These are the same standards that a factory Toyota SiriusXM tuner box is made to. Not only that, but actually bringing up quality standards. We actually sent these parts in to SiriusXM corporate directly to be put into a stress chamber, and they do all kinds of physical tests. They do, they blow Sedona dust into it. They heat it up. They freeze it. They put it through all these extreme conditions. And we got report back from a SiriusXM rep in the technical department, and he let our VP of sales know that not only are we the only ones that have survived that test completely, not just passed it, but completely came out working. 2 of our devices went in and came out completely working. So that's really something to be said about that. I mean, these things, we have less than a 0.1% return rate. So this box itself, I can usually and always confidently say that, we not only do we test them before they go out, but generally 9 times out of 10, unless something wasn't hooked up correctly, they're going to stay working in field. We also cover these with a 3-year warranty. So GSR is backed with a 3-year, and if it's a new vehicle, even a 36,000-mile warranty to match what comes with the with the vehicle. So just covering what else is in the box. So we have a little power harness, simple 4-pin connector, 2 powers, 2 grounds on the opposite side. and then those are just going to be connected to a constant power source in the vehicle. We do this to retain just like, and it draws no more current than like a factory clock in a car. And we do this just to retain preset memory. Secondly, so you have this little black cable with a brown connector on the end. This is an OEM style connector as well. Here, I can take it out of the bag so you can see it a little better. Okay, so the USB actually says SAT radio in an overmolded label, and this is where it's going to plug into the USB port. So typically for your universal applications, you're going to hook up power and ground, tuck the unit and the tuner underneath the dashboard, and typically the customer will see probably about 3 or 4 inches of this cable just coming out from their panel and plugging into that USB port. So yes, you will see a little bit of cable, but that's typically it. No, no StarMate on the dash, no cigarette lighter adapter hanging and draping over the radio. So it does make for a very clean install.
And Jonathan, I mean, sometimes you got those cases where those plugs are also in the center console, so even better.
Yes, that's a great application. Absolutely. So Mazda, Mercedes, yes, a lot of vehicles also do them in the center console, so that's going to make for a super clean install. We also have some, technicians that like to get savvy with the location of the USB. All we ask as a company is that we validate our software by plugging into that factory port. So even if it's moved, elsewhere, retain that factory port and retain our communication. That way, the product's going to be working. So
I know our technicians. I mean, there's so many ways to do that. You could also replace the factory USB with an aftermarket one, and then hide that one. And yes. You know what I mean? To just.
And I don't think I have it out here, but yes, the GSR actually has a secondary port on it. So this gray connector here. So you have a brown connector and a gray connector. So you have, power, the DIN connector for the SXV 300. All the way on the side here is where the USB goes, but this one is actually an expansion port, and we have a flush mountable female USB. When it plugs directly into the GSR, we're going to give you 2.4 amp output for charging.
There you go. There you go. You already make it.
Yes.
Beautiful.
All right.
Beautiful.
So
some people just won't deal with that little wire sticking out of the, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And typically it's always a good thing. That's a great thing to touch on as well. For the installer, we absolutely get it. You buy a new vehicle and you have an image in your mind about how that vehicle is going to be. But typically, I mean, a owner of a vehicle, when they get that car, they're plugging something into that USB port. They may not realize it when they bought the car, but generally, a lot of customers that do explain that, hey, you're actually going to have a lot less wire than you would if you're using like, a phone charger or something like that. But yes, if you can, be crafty with the installation and tuck it.
So that's awesome. 2.4 amps of charging on that secondary USB.
Yes, we give you that directly. So and it does not pass through data. So it's not a pass-through hub where you can plug a secondary device. Power only. Yes, exactly.
Charging only.
Cool. All right, so that about does it for UV01. If you are a dealer, you can flash this yourself. I know, Romesh, you guys offer the flashing as at your end as well.
So we offer all the part numbers that are on the VAIS website as individual applications, and then as they're leaving the door, because it's pretty quick and painless, we flash them here on the spot.
There you go.
And then they get restickered, and so there'll be a UV01 TU, which means tuner universe, or UV01T, sorry, with the tuner, and then everything else that we're doing will be the same part number on the VAIS website with a TU underneath, TU at the end, so tuner and universal.
Which is great. So yeah, I mean, if you're a dealer in the Canadian market, you can just utilize our normal app guide, and when you contact Romesh or Importel, you can just utilize that stock number. Even though you're going to get a UV01, it's going to be flashed to that standard. That's
ready
great.
to go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a great point. I mean, to grab an application that you have, maybe more demand, or you work with a certain dealership, if you're a retail store or an expediter, having that one piece of inventory on the shelf is never a bad thing, because if someone walks in the door with a different vehicle, you can just go to the website yourself and reflash it.
100%. Or if they take it out of the car and bring it to a new vehicle. Exactly. Right.
Well,
definitely.
you just brought up something from a consumer benefit standpoint. They could take with and transfer to next
100%.
vehicle.
As long as we have an application for it, take it right out of the car. You're going to have that little USB adapter to reflash the unit. but they can absolutely do that.
But they can bring it back to you and say, take this out and put it in my next one.
Yeah, they'll go back to the original
Absolutely.
dealer and have it removed and reinstalled. Absolutely.
Right. But that's an interesting point from the expediter or dealer perspective to offer that. Say, hey, listen, and when you're ready to change, just bring it back to me. And I'll set you up on your new whip.
Right, and it's great. It's great with SiriusXM as well because your subscription is mated to that
unit,
to that electronic serial number.
There's also
so
a sales incentive for
the whole thing
used
moves
car.
around.
We do. We're in the CarMax car market. We're in individual buy here, pay here type of dealer markets. GSR is a great upgrade for somebody buying a used car.
Yeah,
you need to stick to a budget and it has it in there already. So a lot of our legacy products, a lot of the older stuff, I get calls all the time. Hey, I just bought this Lexus and it's got a VAIS Tech piece in it. So typically they'll leave them in there and for the resale value of the entertainment system.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I got to add this. Ricky's bringing up a great point, and this is to add to the sales pitch. If you're in front of a customer, you want to pitch them this this device. Every SXV3 connecting to that GSR also comes with 3 months free. The best 100%. SXM package. Look at that.
Yes.
So yet another layer to the pitch.
Right there. Definitely.
All right. Thanks.
When you activate, you got 3 months prepaid. So
that's it.
Excellent.
I guess last thing to touch on physically, if we got time for GSR, would be
we got like two minutes left on this one.
I could do 2 minutes. So last one we got is our this is GSR TY52. Okay, so we do offer UV01 is going to cover, like I said, pretty much 90% of our application guide, with the exception of legacy products and some very small specific applications. Like there's a particular Honda and a particular Subaru that you have to use their devices, and also a Porsche model. So there's about 3 cars out there that you can't use a UV01 on. Other than that, it's going to cover the whole market. Now we do have GSR TY51 and GSR TY52. How does this differ from UV01? Number one, this is the actual box that is SiriusXM approved and verified. So this will actually ship with the SiriusXM logo on it, SXM ready. And the nice part about this is, if you notice, we don't have a power harness. This is the only things that come in the box aside from the manual. So we have our little unit. The GSR unit itself is going to look almost like with the exception of the sticker, it looks identical to a UV01. Cool part about this, though, is that our brown connector plugs directly into our unit. And then we have a USB connection that will plug into the back, directly into the back of your Toyota factory radio. And last but not least, we got that T-harness.
Oh my goodness.
Okay,
no soldering, no splicing.
There's a lot of new body RAV4s out there, especially in Canada, that are shipping without SiriusXM. The reason why I want to spend 2 minutes on this piece, this is a huge, like you said, not everybody wants the visibility of wires in their car. Brand new Toyota application, not only are you hiding all the wires and you're going to the T-harness application, a RAV4 is a great example. To all the installers and technicians watching, you know what the interior of a RAV4 looks like. You're going to connect constant power over at the fuse box or near it, come all the way back over, and the data plug on these new cars is all the way at the back of the cubby in the center console. So now you have a USB coming out and all the way around that center console into the back of the cubby, and a lot more wire exposed. In a 19 RAV4, you got 4 10-millimeter bolts behind the radio. Radio slides out, this plugged in, you're done. It's half the install time.
Yeah, we like less time in the bay.
Right.
Absolutely.
And cosmetically, slick, right? It's really clean.
And offer that dealership a 3-year warranty and no visibility.
Dude, my best pickup line is T-harness. Just tell me T-harness and I'm in.
Right. Yeah, really.
You know what I'm saying? Like buttons start going undone when I hear T-harness, because that's pretty much the limit of my installation skills. All right, we're gonna shift gears real quickly. We got another 10 minutes. We got a special guest coming on at the end of the show, retailer that's gonna kind of give us a little bit of perspective from a dealer expediter point of view. But before that, let's talk about SEER. We got a video I want to play, kind of set the mood, and then we'll come right back at you.
SEER by VAIS Technology, taking driver safety and comfort to a brand new level. Factory and aftermarket accessory, triggering based on driver proximity. A small tag attached to your keychain communicates with the vehicle. As the driver enters the recognition zone, SEER recognizes your approach to the vehicle to trigger available lighting on. To enhance safety around the car at nighttime, unlocks the car and sounds audible alert. Enjoy peace of mind knowing your vehicle is locked, and give yourself comfort while leaving. SEER can be customized to trigger other factory or aftermarket installed electronic accessories, such as sidestep running boards, puddle light, dome light, fold-unfold mirrors, bed light, and more. Learn more about SEER at vaistech.com.
Okay, well, first I want one, but before we even start talking about the details,
Get with me after the show, Ben.
I'm just saying, like, I got a vehicle in mind that doesn't have any of those features, and that would be awesome. So let me get this right. This is not, I thought at first when I thought about it, I thought it was ADAS. And we had this little chat about it's not really ADAS. This is convenience. This is automation, like you mentioned.
This is automation. That's the word we want to push. Now, first glance to somebody that's not familiar with automation at all, the most basic feature that SEER will offer is proximity-based keyless entry. So somebody that isn't quite sure on what an automation device is, that's going to be its most basic function.
A fundamental, like that's what you get at the base.
But this is a full-blown dual processor, intelligent processing unit, and it can be programmed and customized to do virtually whatever you want. So
time out. So on my phone, I got this app called WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. It gets a program on my Google-enabled devices in my house, the lights, this and that. If this happens, then that. Is this what we're talking about, automation? Like
logic-wise, it's exactly what we're talking about. Yes.
Gotcha.
The implementation is a little bit different. So we took away the user interface. We introduced a key tag. So SEER ships with this very small 1.5 by 1.25 key tag. It's got a little metal ring on the top of it. And the entire experience is programmed by the installation shop. And the only thing the user needs to do is carry this key tag on them. And what they requested, what you designed with your technician, will happen in any vehicle that it's installed in.
That's very bespoke. I like bespoke.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going. Please tell us more.
Well, you want to start with a demo?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We have a beautiful 1969 Chevelle SS convertible that I've personally installed one of our SEER units in. So like I said, the most basic thing that SEER is going to offer you is proximity lock and unlock. We have a default profile, so SEER can be taken out of the box by any technician, and we have a little insert guideline that you would follow. Install it in a vehicle, put the battery in the remote, and it will start working immediately. So it can be programmed and customized to do whatever you want. We'll touch a little bit on that, but realistically, I've designed a default configuration for SEER and for your general customer experience. Very slick from Ricardo. Thank you. So you can, like I said, you can take this out of the box, put it in a vehicle, and you're going to get this. So I'm going to we have a key tag sitting on the dash pad. I'm going to go ahead and just grab the key tag, walk off stage. You're going to see a couple of things happen. So I've installed some directed electronics, heavy duty grade door lock actuators. So the doors will lock automatically. We also have a relay bank system, which is going to be controlling the flashing of the parking lights. And then I have a little aftermarket siren up in the front here, which you get a chirp. So I'm going to go ahead and just walk away. You're going to see flashing lights, or you're going to see the parking lights, hear the chirp, and the doors will lock. So grabbing that key tag, about 20 feet out. Did I leave it on? Let's see.
Is there a battery on the car?
No, I just did it before the stream too.
So is that distance? Oh, there it is.
There you go.
Okay. All right. So I'm about 30 feet away right now on the opposite end. So you see that parking light flash. Doors are locked. Going to come back on. This is cool too. So SEER, in addition to the key tags, so you can see the doors are locked. We also have a starter kill. So a lot of guys ask me, in addition to just the convenience features of this and walking up to the vehicle and having it automatically unlock, we also have a starter kill engaged, where if you try to start the vehicle, you won't get any activity. Also too, you see the doors just locked. So 2017 DOT passed a law stating that doors need to be automatically locked for, in-vehicle theft purposes, carjackings, grand theft auto. So that was one of the requests from the driver of this vehicle, that we introduce ignition control door locks. So same thing there. We rock the ignition back, doors unlock as well. You can also utilize multiple inputs. So SEER has 8 inputs and 10 outputs. So if you wanted to do something additional, like leaning over into the car and having a warn away to say, hey, get away from me. If you have a convertible top, so that's the chirps that you just heard when leaning into the vehicle. So this is something similar that you would get, in an alarm situation, but SEER is controlling all of this. So in addition to just the convenience of walking up to or away from your vehicle, we can also trigger anything based on an event. All right, so I'm just going to go grab the key tag, come back on, and you'll see everything unlock.
I've got a lot of questions, Romesh. I hope you do too.
Well, I've been working with Jonathan on this
about
for a little
25
bit,
feet out. All right, and right
look
here.
at that.
So doors are unlocked, car's open and disarmed, no siren, good to go.
Ignition engaged.
And ignition
There it is. Okay.
is engaged.
You want to go first, Romesh, or you want me to go first?
No, go ahead.
Okay, first question. Can this be integrated to a existing security system?
Yes. So and this is honestly one of the first questions I get from everyone. So as far as pre-existing systems, if we're talking about an alarm, the alarm would technically, SEER uses negative trigger outputs. So in order to disarm something, yes, on the SEER end, we can control and program one of the outputs as a disarm signal. The question is your alarm that's in your vehicle now, does it have a physical disarm input? A lot of newer alarms don't have a physical trigger that will say disarm me. They only receive that information from data or from the remote, from the RF remote. So currently, right now, we are actually there's a big future for SEER. So, and we'll touch on that when we do the unboxing. But SEER actually has an expansion port which deals with RS-485. So we have the capability not only to communicate with additional devices, we can actually daisy chain additional devices to communicate into SEER. So if you had like an application where it required more than 10 outputs, we could absolutely develop an expansion module for it. But just touching on that, we are going to be introducing data-to-data communication in the upcoming months. Currently, right now, if your alarm has a physical input for disarm, yes, because essentially SEER is going to trigger and it's going to just go ahead and disarm the system. Now
Because,
Oh,
so,
sorry.
I'm going to let you finish before I continue. Keep going.
Real quick. So I have a gentleman who has an older alarm and does not have the capability for a disarm input. He took apart his remote, wired a pack volt 39 directly to it, soldered lock and unlock right to the remote, and didn't touch the install. His install for the car and the system stayed exactly the same.
Interesting.
And now he just added procs on top of it. Guy loves it. And he's really just triggering an RF remote that's happening internally. It's buried in the dash. No one would know where it is. He walks up, and everything that's been happening for the last year and a half with his alarm still happens.
Well, and that's the whole thing. I mean, I can see a customer asking, like, I have this big remote for my alarm starter combo, which everybody in Canada has, and I want keyless entry. At the base, I get there's many other options, but, I want keyless entry. I want to be able to walk up my car just like my other car does, but I don't want to sacrifice my alarm starter combo that I paid so much to get in. That's why I asked the question.
But what makes this... Sorry.
No, go ahead, Romesh.
What makes this different, and Jonathan and I went over this, and that's why when you said, do you have any questions? I said, well, I probably drilled, probably downloaded half of Jonathan's brain over the last few months on variations and permutations and combinations. So one of the things that when we first talk about SEER that the average consumer and even sometimes retailer doesn't catch on to right away, I guess, is with the newer vehicle, they go, hey, I already have that. But you actually don't. You have owner recognition, but you still physically have to do something to make the doors unlock.
100%.
Right? So like, a new BMW or, whatever, insert name a car here. It doesn't matter.
I see what you're saying.
You physically have to grab your hand and make it unlock. And there's that delay. When your hands are full or whatever, and you're at a trunk or whatever, trying to or in winter, like you said, like things are, frozen, whatever, and you're trying to get your hands on that thing to make it make that connection with gloves on or whatever. I walk up to the car, it's unlocked.
This
I
is
walk away from the
keyless
car
and contactless. Entry.
Right. Right.
Contactless. Yeah. And honestly, Romesh, it's great on you touched on that. I usually give a personal practical example. So I have a 19 RAV4 Adventure. It's a higher trim level. It has proximity key and owner recognition already. I'm a single guy. I live on my own. I go grocery shopping and usually walk out with a bag or two, not much. And instead of, walking up to the back of the vehicle, opening the electronic lift gate just to put a little bag in, usually I like to throw them in the back seat. So this is a great practical example. I walk out of the grocery store with that one bag. From the factory, I had to walk up to my door, reach out to the capacitive handle. There's absolutely a delay. Wait the delay, open the door, hit unlock, close the door, step around to the rear, open the door, put my bag in. Now when I walk out, I have all 4 doors already unlocked before I can reach out to touch them. I throw in my bag and I go about my business. And honestly, that little bit, it changes your daily lifestyle. It really does. And we want that for our customers.
Yeah, like not to get
also from a fleet perspective, people with technicians on the road with heavy duty gear and equipment and tools, to know that you can walk away after grabbing what you have and it will lock.
So and that's what we can talk about right now, actually. Okay. So basic features of SEER are going to offer proximity lock and unlock and the convenience that we just talked about for consumers. Starter interrupts are going to be a big deal. So I have a gentleman in the Northeast area. He's got an FBI service vehicle contract. He's using SEER with its grand technology and all of its 10 outputs for one purpose, and that's starter kill based on proximity. And they're preloading them into these vehicles, and he's got a whole new category and a new revenue stream just from one product. Also illuminated entry. So SEER's got a dedicated circuit on it for lighting. A lot of people don't know that. So not only do we have possible expansions for the future and additional modules, but it's got a lighting engine circuit directly on board. You can take a multitude of raw LEDs with no PCB or no resistor, wire them directly into SEER, and we can power a full underglow lighting kit or an amp rack. So illuminated entry is going to be a big thing.
Puddle lights, lights or illuminated entry.
Nice custom piece for those big.
Yes.
A nice
so
custom
and
piece,
touching on custom. So we also have 8 inputs and 10 outputs that can be completely assigned to utilize for whatever you want. So a custom guy, you got a guy with a brand new Jeep JL or a Gladiator. He's got electronic side steps, off-road lighting, front and rear. We can trigger anything you want in a custom application. And we can not only do that, but we don't just sense when the user is near or away. We know where you are based on a numeric value. And to the techie guys, that's going to be a huge added value, because now I can trigger my headlights here. I could trigger my side steps here. I could trigger the air ride to lower the car
distance?
Here.
By distance?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So not only can we fully customize the usage of SEER, we can customize how the events trigger each other.
So you could go headlight first, side steps next, underglow, unlock, and by the time you get to the car, you can open it.
Right.
Got it.
Right. I'll be shipping yours after the meeting.
So I don't do these ones very often, but I'm gonna go game changer stamp on that.
Awesome.
That's very, very slick.
So
very,
just
very
quickly
slick.
covering applications for you guys. So we sell to 12-volt dealers directly. We sell to obviously your consumer traffic that walks in. Husband and wife have vehicles. One has procs, one doesn't. That's going to be the additive sale. Now, for consumers too, this would be a great thing, especially in Canada with the remote start business that you guys have. Pair this with remote starts, or at least offer it. So if you're doing a 3x lock or a single button remote start, that's your hamburger, and SEER is the French fries. Would you like procs with that? Would you like to add it on? Because that, you don't have to worry about the integration. I've had guys do a plug-and-play T-harness remote start and do SEER on top of it. And now they have everything they wanted in starting their vehicle, plus this really cool proximity.
Okay, Jonathan.
Go ahead.
Quick question. So just to confirm, there's when I was playing with the flow, I guess, generator or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, flow editor. Yep.
The flow editor. There are two receivers, correct? That can be two wireless proximity receivers that you can install inside the vehicle, correct?
Yeah, and if you'd like, I could do an unboxing right now. You guys can kind of ask me along the way.
We got 2 minutes. Can we do this in 2 minutes? Let's go.
So, yeah. All right, cool.
Okay, you unbox. I'm going to ask my question.
Sounds good. So
We have
an owner card that goes in the glove box. It'll tell them how to replace the battery. We have an installation and user guide with the default profile. So when you get your first SEER, make sure you look at this insert. Again, OEM quality box. All the connections are on the bottom, so it makes for a nice clean install. We have 2 antennas. So again, these are also made to OEM quality. They are epoxy sealed from the back. They have a waterproof connector. So these are the same antennas that BMW or Acura would use for their proximity. One gets installed in vehicle front, usually in the dash. One goes all the way in the rear. We have 2 antenna extensions, one 20 feet, one 8 feet. Your technician's going to run these from the antenna locations to where the brain's going to be. We left these separate from the plug-in harness. That way you can cut the extra cabling there and not have a bunch of cables spooled up in the car. We have a mounting bracket. We have an input and output harness that handles all the inputs and outputs for SEER on one plug. Again, nice for a clean install. Finally, we got a overmolded power harness, and it does come with 2 key tags, and they're pre-programmed and paired to the unit. So again, when you install SEER, all you got to do is make your connections, put the battery in, walk away.
So one of the applications I was going to get to for even newer vehicles is because it's got the 2 different antennas, and we can code it, or we can program in sequences or timed events.
Yes. With
that rear trunk or rearward facing one, what we can't do in a lot of vehicles is we can't trigger an event to open the trunk on its own. We still need our hand to go get that, unless you've got the foot wave or whatever in some of the other vehicles. We now can install that into almost any vehicle, because 100%. we could say if you're standing at the back of the vehicle for more than 5 seconds or 3 seconds or whatever you want to put it at, right? Like, why would you stand at the back of your car for 3 seconts?
Right, and the trunk to unlock.
SEER, in addition to that, SEER's got 8 inputs. So here's the cool thing. I did this. Liftgate's a good example. A better one is a truck with a tailgate. I just did an 18 Silverado high country, top trim level. It's got the cab light in the reverse light housing, but you have to open the driver door and reach all the way into the center console. I got to reach further because I'm so short. And hit that button to turn the cab light on. What we did was we installed a mercury switch in the tailgate with the addition. But now get this. Not only does SEER turn on the light when you drop the tailgate, it only does it if the key tag has approached and you drop the tailgate. So now if somebody, not the owner of the vehicle, opens that tailgate, they're not going to kill the battery. So you can do a multitude of different events to cause something to happen.
Right. Not the same time of how do I explain that? I guess not the same path, but multiple paths.
But sure. Like even a trunk vehicle, right? Like a regular trunk vehicle with an automated pressure switch or whatever, right? You got to put your hand on there and hold it till it goes clunk.
Right.
Right now, you just go there, it'll trigger it, and then it'll actually flip open in a lot of cases, right? Mm-hmm. Not with an actuator, but just flips open on its own, right?
Right.
And then you just grab your elbow, right?
Guys, I know this is a great topic. I think we're very excited. I think there's been a lot of excitement being generated from this. But I definitely want to round out this show. We've got a special guest waiting here. We're going to bring him on right now. This is the dealer section. So Importel was kind enough to kind of give us a short list of dealers that they work closely with that has experience with the VAIS Tech product. So we reached out to him, and he's going to join us. His name is Mike, and he represents a branded company in the Ontario region called Mutech Electronics. And we're going to love to welcome Mike to CMA. Mike, you ready to come on? Let's do this. Hey, Mike, what's going on, bud?
How's it going?
So, Mike, this is Romesh from Importel and Jonathan from VAIS Tech. I think you've watched a little bit of what's going on.
Long time no see, right?
Right. Mike, first and foremost, thank you for taking the time with us. I know you're, obviously business hours. We're not going to take too much of your time, but we really wanted to get your input on a couple of things. Why don't you first start telling us a little bit about your brand, your company, and what you're all about?
Well, Newtek purchased Mass 3 years ago. But Newtek's been around since 1993, and we took over Kroger in 2012. So we're pretty much like the big guys out there.
All right. And this is Expediter business?
Yeah, we work with the car dealerships.
Excellent.
We do a little bit of retail, but not too much.
And we're talking about a pretty big area that you service.
Yeah, we go to, all the way to Ottawa, Niagara Falls, London, downtown, all over the place.
Yeah, that's a big area. Most people do their town. You have like a 6-hour window.
I like lots of towns.
I see that. I see that. All right. And why don't you talk to us a little bit about your experience with, I know that specifically you've got a lot of experience installing the GSRs, the satellite radio SiriusXM modules.
So we love the GSRs. They're incredible. Once we put them in, we usually don't get phone calls like we used to. We don't like where the controller is. We don't like this. We don't like that. With GSR, no one complains. It basically looks like a factory system.
And is that something that you're very confident in when you present to client, or is it something they ask for? Is it more something you have to pitch, or is it more something that's asked for?
Well, it works hit and miss. Like, for example, many years Hondas came with pretty much all their cars came with satellite radio. No one ever asked. Now I'm getting phone calls from Honda saying, we have a situation. We have this 2021 CRV. There's no satellite radio. The guy's going to cancel the deal. What do you have? Yeah.
Like,
and I'm like,
deal breaker status.
Yeah, deal breakers. I'm like, listen, I have a satellite radio. Well, where's it going to go? I go, great it. What, are you kidding me? And the guy gets all excited. Then they start telling their business office, and people like it, right? It's before we have to put the controller on the dash.
Oh, that's what you meant. You weren't using, it wasn't a solution that you used the original factory, interface.
Yeah.
There's something else that you had to add. Right?
You have to add the little external on the dash, right? That's always you're asking for trouble.
Basically the portable SiriusXM kit with the car kit, right?
Well, I remember the XM one I had with a cassette to go in my cassette deck.
Oh, that's a really old.
That was OEM integration, boys. All right, with the lighter plug. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that was gangster back then.
It was gangster back then. But anyways, Mike, listen, you put in a lot of these. It sounds like is it something that the dealers know exists, or is it always a surprise every time you bring it up? I'm just curious.
Lately for Honda, it's a new thing for Honda because before Honda never bought satellite radio. It's like once a year.
They have the trim level. The
trim levels.
Right.
A lot of their trim levels have removed it. Now we're getting more attention from the Honda stores, for example. And when you tell them it's completely integrated, they get all excited.
Now, what about from a technical installation standpoint? Any issues? Is it easy to put in? Like level of difficulty on 5?
Well, it's not difficult to install, but to make neat, you have to spend a little bit of extra time. You can make it. You can just slap it in, throw it in. But I make sure everyone does it neat because the dealership takes it apart. And it doesn't look neat, then we look like idiots over it, right? We make sure it could be done fast if you really wanted to, right? But it takes we like to take 2 hours to install it properly. We don't want to rush.
My last question to you: what recommendation do you have for other dealers listening to this that might not even be aware of this product or doesn't have a lot of experience? Is this something that you recommend they get into?
Oh yeah,
wherever in Canada.
Whenever we call it, usually doesn't come back a very good, reliable unit, right? Once it's done, it's done.
Right, and who doesn't like a unit that's reliable and doesn't have a callback?
We hate callbacks.
It makes my job a lot easier.
That's right. We can't stand callbacks.
Yeah.
All right, I'll open the floor to Romesh or Jonathan if you have a question for Mike while we have him. So you might be curious about. Romesh?
I'm thinking.
Or Jonathan?
I usually get Mike's questions. Mike doesn't ask any questions on satellite radio.
You picked the right guy.
I don't like to ask questions.
Mike's usually the guy hopping on social media and throwing solutions out for people. So.
Okay, I'll flip the switch. Now, do you have any questions for Jonathan while we have him on, or any comments that you may have that you'd like VAIS to know about? No,
I don't know because we've been using the satellite radio. That's pretty good. We got that new product with the keyless entry and stuff. That we have to look into the step. That's going to be a good seller too for the high end cars.
Dude, that thing is blowing my mind. I didn't even know it was to that point. I thought it was just keyless entry. I didn't realize it was programmable the way it is.
Really excited about it, yeah.
And what it can do. Yeah.
Well, you said high end cars, but here, let me throw a different one. Throw a curveball at you there, Mike. For the dealership vehicles on the lot that are a lower trim level.
Yes.
And they just want to have owner recognition and they don't want to get all the extra stuff. That's another
my highest return business expediter right now with SEER is doing them in LE base level Kias and Hyundais, and he's giving them lock and unlock and a flashing of the parking lights, and that's it. He's hooking up 3 wires and giving them and putting them into a trim level that they, we're going to have to spend that $4,000 to get in.
Mike's like, Gears turning.
Yeah.
Gears
Mike,
turning.
I've looked into it. I haven't had to sit down and actually look at it yet. Right?
Yeah,
I have to know the product properly first.
Yeah, absolutely cool. All right, Mike. Any shout outs, man? Your first time here. We're happy to have your feedback. Any shout outs?
No, nobody actually.
All good.
It's all good, rolling. Right? We love.
And
Importel.
if you haven't seen his business,
all the time. Importel's great. We use them all the time, right?
Beautiful.
It's one of the top suppliers that we have. Very, very respectable people, very professional, right?
We're doing
Importel that
is again this year.
Importel, yeah, Importel.
Sweet, perfect. And if you haven't seen Mike's yellow iconic vans on the road, you might have seen it. It says New Tech on. You can't miss them. It keeps them in pristine shape.
Do you take those on the road, or those are your
only
museum?
I will drive it. I don't trust anyone to touch those.
Those are the museum pieces.
Awesome.
Why, you want me to come show you? No problem.
Yeah,
let's see him. Yeah,
I can go show you. No problem.
Yeah, all right, here we go.
Oh, we're going for a walkabout.
This is a man who's proud of his fleet, which is great.
As you
Great
should
to
be.
see. As you should be. So, what do you think of those comments, Jonathan? You like what you're hearing?
No, absolutely, yes. No, and if you guys got any questions for me, I mean, following this, let me know. I'm happy to do. Also, to you guys, Romesh, if you have any dealers that have any questions outside of current knowledge level with SEER, let's get on a 3-way call with them. I do Zoom calls twice a week.
Yep.
I do live trainings with the Chevelle, so let's get these guys educated.
Wow, check that out.
We get on those
Mike, turn your phone, Mike. Turn your phone. There you go. Look at that. How many are there?
There's 4 here, and there's a 5th one getting fixed.
And they're all like 90s, 80s?
Yeah, the middle one is 81, and the rest are like 90s.
Those are the collector. These are the collector ones in yellow, and then you can see in the white ones in the back there, the Metros, I think.
But these are actually working vehicles, right? Like
they run. I can drive
vehicles.
now and bring it over. It's no problem.
No. I mean, do you service clients with these?
No.
Right?
It's just a collection now.
Oh, this is a collection.
Yeah,
the white ones. Touch those.
That's crazy. Okay.
The white ones in the
Very
back.
cool.
See the white ones?
Yeah, that's the normal vans.
Oh, those are the regular vans. Those are the work vans.
Yeah,
those are just the work vans.
Yeah, just
the work vans.
Yeah,
and all the rest are out on the road.
Awesome, man. Hey, Mike, can't thank you enough for taking the time, man.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate
your
time.
We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
See you
Thank
soon.
you.
That was fun. No, but it was good to hear. We always like getting the dealer feedback. Just because sometimes they come up with questions and scenarios that other dealers need to hear. And I think that was proof was in the pudding in that one.
No, and I appreciate that. And I mean, myself running the tech department here, I mean, we pride ourselves on taking in all that feedback and really implementing it into our products.
Awesome, man. Our time has run out, Jonathan. I'll give you one last word. One last word. Any message you have for dealers who are tuning into this and maybe experiencing or learning about VAIS for the first time?
Hey, man, let's take that old car and bring it to new Lexus quality.
No. That's your thing, though. I think we might have to circle back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. A little deeper dive. Like, Jonathan, thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon, man.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jonathan. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, Romesh,
that was
fun.
That was.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was fun watching your eyes almost pop out of your head.
Bro, I didn't even know that. Did you? Okay, you do, because you're dealing with it.
Well, I've been playing around with before the product was launched, we were playing around with the flow. Well, we were playing with the flow editor because there's trying to get your brain around all the different variants.
Well, which is why I made reference to my home automation. Right. I have a little bit of a background in home automation, so I get what the moment he said automation, I was like, hold up, shut the front door. Automation, because I thought this was a singular purpose device, as in, proximity.
And that's kind of where my conversation with, the initial, hey, this is SEER. I'm like, okay. And over the phone, it's kind of hard to figure out what it does. Mm-hmm. So then we get the flow editor, and your brain starts kind of going through iterations of what you can and can't control, and then different ways of controlling stuff. So cool. We've had lots of discussions.
and again, when it comes to GSR, go-to unit, OEM integration, seamless integration, user friendly.
It's a solution that dealers and dealers and consumers forget about.
Yeah,
it's something they need, something they want, and something they either A, don't know exists, or B, they've sold a bunch of it and still kind of forget sometimes that it's out there.
And you heard what Mike said. It sometimes is a deal breaker for a car.
Oh yeah, dealers, absolutely.
So if
your last car that you just traded in had Sirius satellite,
it's hard to go without.
Radio, I just bought a new car. Like I just spent $50,000, $30,000, whatever it is, right? And you just gave me a trade in for my jalopy,
and it
doesn't have
Right? Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Roku, it's been a blast.
Mr. Wu,
Talk to you soon.
thank you very much.
Go
Have a good one. All right. Go Habs. Go.
Later.
Bye.
All right, there you have it, guys. Hope you guys learned something on that one. I sure did. I want to give a shout out to Jonathan from VAIS Tech and also Mike from New Tech for showing up, giving some insight. We got to learn on today about those GSR SXM integration units as well as SEER. Cool new technology. Definitely want to learn more about that. On that note, I'll see you back here Wednesday and Friday for some more CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.